Oh, Melder Boaz here. Well, wanted to give an update to the actual planting of the spring garden. I know we've been working hard for the past couple of months to prepare the soil in the greenhouse, and it has been a tremendous amount of work, but I think we got it all squared away. So what I'm going to do is just walk you through, how we are planting, how we're adding nutrients to the soil, and the little process of, as well as what we're growing. So, as you see here, we have our meat birds here, and I was able, when I got back from Passover, Tractor Supply was selling meat birds, and what they do is, as it gets closer and closer to the maturity date of the meat bird, they'll go ahead and sell it for $1. So I got majority of those for $1. There's about 70 meat birds in there now, and what I was able to do is construct a chicken tractor where all of the chicken shit, in addition to the sheep shit that I go ahead and just throw into these areas and just till it in, they were able to shit all in these areas. So when we got the soil test done, they said that we needed to add nitrogen. So this is an excellent, easier way of adding nitrogen to the soil, you see. So we have our meat birds, you see here, they drink good clean water, they are eating the feed, but in addition to that, they eat food scraps that we put in there, but I don't have to go about cleaning the chicken pen because, they're walking on the metal mesh and they're shitting all in the area, and this is how we add the nutrients to the soil, and this is the same with the actual egg layers. I mean, this is good, clean food right here, so that you control the environment, and they get to eat good, clean water, and they get to eat the grain, and they get the food scraps, and then I'll put them out to free range so that they can eat up all the grass. And so the idea is that I don't have to do a whole bunch of cleaning up because all of their droppings are going directly into the soil. Hit it with the tiller, and that's done. All right, so what we have here is we have collard greens that I was able to plant. You see how the little collard is coming up here? And this is 9 per pad, so I can tell exactly how many collard greens that I'm growing. We have some collard greens, so some larger collard greens growing right here. And we also have some pepper plants that's growing, a variety of pepper plants. We have tomato plants that's growing, more pepper plants over here. And then we have the salad lettuce that's growing in these pods, and you see how they're growing up. I mean, all this romaine scare, all these romaine lettuce, I'm telling you, man, organic is what you grow. And so what we have here is all of our romaine lettuce growing up. As you see, what I do is I chop off the top of the pepper plant, and what that does is it creates more stem growth right here. Same with the tomatoes. We got the tomato plants growing, and we're going to plant some more tomatoes off of the suckers. So as you know, the idea is that when the tomato plant is growing, you just take off the suckers, but you can replant the suckers when they grow up. And here you got the cucumber plants. All of this is pretty much collard greens, as you see. Cucumbers, more collard greens. You got to grow what you eat, don't be just go ahead and just planting a whole bunch of stuff. And in here, we have various herbs, lemon balm, chocolate mint, sage, we're growing, and we got some onions that are sprouting up and that are growing. We got some beets that are growing, and what I'll do is, as we continue to go along, I take a whole bunch of sheep shit, I'll throw it in these areas, and then I'll till it in, and then there you got the nitrogen directly into the soil. And I do that the same with the chicken. So the idea is that, when you grow your own food, and when you spend time growing your own food, you create a definite sense of appreciation because it's a lot of work. I mean, it's hot in this greenhouse, and it's a lot of work to grow your own chicken, to grow your own egg layers, to, you know, grow your own fruits and vegetables, to grow your own, you know, we got asparagus growing in the back. We got beets growing back there as well. We'll be doing some sweet potatoes out in the front. We'll also be doing some red potatoes for dinner and some white potatoes as well. You know, I was able to get some good organic compost from the municipal place where they come out and chop down trees. They have this whole area where they sell the mulch and all of the compost for dirt cheap. I mean, I got a truckload for $5. And so, you know, it's critical that, you know, you source these things because you're not spending a whole lot of money. All of these primarily were started from seeds, you see? All of this stuff was primarily started from seeds. And so, you know, when they're started from seeds, you know where the food is coming from. You source the seeds yourself, and you don't have to worry about GMO. You don't have to worry about all of that stuff. And, you know, this brings me to the topic of the municipal water supply. And you see all of these major cities where they're having problems with the water. And, you know, a lot of people, you know, especially a lot of Israelites, they live in Detroit. They live in Flint, Michigan. They live in these areas. And, you know, I hear a lot of times, you know, people complaining about the water not being clean. Hey, they're not going to fix the water. The water's been broke for years. They're not going to fix it. They're not, you know, these cities are impoverished. And I tell people all the time, move out of these areas. Move out of Detroit. Move out of Flint. Move out of Chicago. Move out of these areas where, you know, the municipal water supply is contaminated across the board. You know, I was a landlord, and I had a 3-family house in Newark, New Jersey, and I had to replace the pipes for, you know, there was a pipe burst in the basement. And so, you know, I cut a section of the pipe off, and I noticed that in the pipe, it was corroded, and it was a whole bunch of dirt, and, I mean, it was just a whole bunch of buildup, and I'm like, man, people are drinking this stuff. And I immediately went ahead to put a filter on my systems and realized that, you know, hey, you know, even though a lot of those filters, they don't clean out the estrogen, they don't clean out all of the chemicals, they don't clean out all of the drugs that people go through their system, flush down the toilet, go into the municipal water supply. They don't clean out these impurities. So the best way that you can deal with this situation is to remove yourself from those situations instead of complaining about these toxic chemicals that are in the water, because the government don't care nothing about you. And fluoride is put in the system to make you dumb, dormant, docile, apathetic, and I can understand why a lot of people can't think straight. You know, it's funny, you're talking to people, you know, and they ask you about what you're doing, and you ask them where they live, and then they ask them what their plans or whatever. You know, I mean, extravagantly, some of the plans make absolutely no sense, but I can understand why is it that people think this way, because they're not thinking straight. I mean, if you plan on moving to some other country, what is your specific plan to move to that country? What is your time frame? What are the economic and finances associated with that? There's a big back to Israel, back to Africa movement that a lot of people that buy into. And it's sad because, you know, where are you going to get the money? Where are you going to live? I mean, people don't think about any of this stuff. You know what I mean? The Most High said that he would gather us from the 4 corners of the earth and put us back in New Jerusalem that will come out of heaven. So I don't understand where this whole movement of we're going to go back to Africa, or go back here, go back there. I just don't understand where they get that from, because it's not scripturally sound. The Most High said he would gather his people from the 4 corners of the earth. He'll do it himself. So the idea is that, you know, I mean, I can go on and on about this stuff, but the idea is this: grow your own food. Organic is what you grow. Whole Foods has been exposed as a scam. All of these so-called people that are selling organic food in these grocery stores, it's not even organic. It is sad. You know, This is why people are having the mental problems that they're having and the physical problems that they're having, is because they're not growing their own food. I mean, and I'm telling you, it takes a lot of work to do this. It's a lot of work to raise your own meat birds, to raise your own egg layers, to raise your own sheep, your own goats, to hunt your own deer, to fish, to do all of these things. And so this is why you're only going to see a remnant and only going to see a few people doing it. Because this is a lot of hard work. And a lot of people, they're on Facebook and on YouTube or whatever, and they're good sounding boards. But when you look at them, they ain't going to do a damn thing. They're going to talk the talk, but they ain't going to walk the walk. They're going to bat scriptures back and forth while they sit and stuck up in the city and have no real plan or real action plan to move their rear ends out of the city and get around fellow believers that are doers of the word, because it says, blessed not the hearers, but the doers of the word. So, hey, it's for me and my house, we're going to serve the Father and we're going to do what he said do, because we were agricultural people. We're people that, raise our own food. And until we get back to that, we're going to continue to be lost, because if you think you're going to get healthy food from a system that is designed to keep you sick, dormant, docile, and apathetic, you are deceived. And a lot of people out there are just totally flat out deceived, and they're going to be deceived and thinking that, Yah's going to make a way for them when they have done nothing themselves. I mean, the amount of deception of people that call themselves people of faith are just astounding. I mean, they're just hearers and not doers at all. But as for me and mine, we're going to put our hands to the plow and we're going to get after it. All right. Have a blessed day. Shalom.